Welcome to another episode of Bargain Saturdays, and this week I decided to return to my family favorites collection with 4 films by Goodtimes Entertainment. And I figured, it's time to finish off this collection, so I guess we'll start with The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I have to admit, it's probably the worst of the 2 films I watched tonight. Not probably by the greatest of orders of magnitude you could imagine, because, quite frankly, both of them being cheaply animated films means their level of animation quality was about on par with each other. Where they fall apart is probably going to be more in storytelling and music and stuff like that. And in terms of animation quality, I'd give Jungle Book the edge. There's just a lot of reused frames, and Good Times Entertainment's version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, with Jet Lad's work here, they reuse a lot of Esmeralda's dancing frames over and over and over again. It's just so blatant when they do it that it's hard not to notice. Your eye will catch it. You're like, they just did that 5 seconds ago. Now they're back at doing it again. And they'll do it like 3, 4, 5 times in a row sometimes, just to save on the animation budget. Like, if we reuse the frames or put in a generic, basically blank background, we can save money. And I feel ya, because there's a lot of cheap animation stuff, tricks and stuff they use, for shows like Dragon Ball Z and stuff too. Like they'll go to a wide frame shot so you can't really see the lip animation. So, like, we can cut money there. And then we can go to like an ultra close up and have our speed lines and wow. So there's all kinds of tips and tricks to the trade when it comes, cutting down your animation budget, for a cartoon series or a cheaply made animation knockoff of a much bigger, better production like Disney or Pixar or something like that. So those are all on display here, and it definitely can hurt the quality of the film overall, especially with an animated work, because you have to convey a lot with motion. With a visual medium like this, how much motion, how characters move can definitely play a major impact on the story overall. At least in its ability to, impact the audience. So reusing frames so blatantly just really hurts. Um, as far as the storytelling itself goes, it's pretty bad for the most part, in my opinion. There's just a lot of rushing to truncate the story down to some 42 minutes or so in order to tell the whole story. Because, you gotta factor in, a good chunk of it's gonna be, the intro and outro songs where, you got the intro, where they're showing the people that made it, with Good Times Entertainment, Jet Lag Productions, and stuff like that. Then you gotta have a couple minutes worth of end credits. So, by the time you get all that stuff extracted out, you got like 40 or 40 some plus minutes, but not a lot, because this film's under 50 minutes easy with all that stuff included in it. So, yeah, the story just gets cut all over the place. So a lot of times you'll have missing like character motivations and stuff like that. Now, if you know enough about the book or if you've seen the Disney version, you can probably fill in the blanks well enough to get by. But if you didn't know anything about the Hunchback of Notre Dame and you just went into this movie completely with no foreknowledge, you'd probably get lost at times. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't eventually become clear what's going on, because they might hit you with a scene that explains it later on, like, they'll show Frollo trying to kidnap Esmeralda without really establishing his obsession with her, but then later on they show his obsession more and more and more as the story goes on. So it's not like it's not there, but it doesn't really hit you with it until, after he's already started acting on his obsession that we never established. So that's definitely an issue. Outside of that, I suppose it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Though the ending is a bit of a doozy in my opinion, because it ends with Esmeralda and Quasimodo just running off to live together in the countryside with their goat, which can spell things out with wooden blocks. That was one smart goat, I have to admit. I mean, he can count, he can spell names, which I have to imagine would be hard to teach it to do that. Huh. I have to wonder, how did Esmeralda teach her goat how to spell things out with wooden blocks anyway? Much less spell things out correctly. Like, how many hours does it take to teach your goat to spell out the name Phoebus? Or any other words out for that matter. That must be some goat. Just like Babe was some pig. At any rate, I just say give this one a pass. I mean, it's just cheaply done. With the bad storytelling on display, most of your entertainment's probably just going to be laughing at how incompetent they were at times, and that's basically gonna be about it. There's just not that much there though, to really make fun of. At least in my opinion, there's just not enough for me to really make a lot of jokes out of. Till next time, then. See ya.
Sanctuary!